Okay, hi everyone. My name's Allie. I am here in Toronto and here today to tell you about my story about living with type 1 diabetes for over 30 years and being diagnosed with end-stage kidney failure as a result of diabetic kidney disease. So, my story starts quite a while ago. It starts when I was 5 years old. And, I didn't really know or appreciate at the time the gravity of type 1 diabetes and what it meant. I had always heard sort of anecdotally that there could be complications, but never really knew what that meant and what it meant for diabetes to take its toll on a person. But in November of 2018, I began to learn, what diabetic kidney disease could take from you and what diabetes could take from you. So here I am, working away, doing professional things, speaking with my hands a lot, and really living my life. I was 32 years old and had not a care in the world other than, of course, living with type 1 diabetes, but was really quite happy to be, flying across the country and speaking at events and having this big professional job. And really not knowing what was ahead of me. And what was ahead of me was a huge shock and a huge change to my life. And it started with my retina detaching from my eye and it having to be reattached at Toronto Western. And this was a fairly extensive surgery and one that is not particularly glamorous to look at as I'm looking at it now. I hope that you're all sitting very far away. But anyways, diabetes started to really show up. And in the midst of it showing up, it started to present signs of end-stage kidney failure, which for many people, and unfortunately, as it stands with kidney disease, it comes a little too late. You get the news a little too late. You get the news when there's no other options. And this is my beautiful swollen ankle. The pedicure don't mind it. But I was flying. I was 68 floors up, and I thought I just had swollen ankles. I am a woman and I retain water, but in fact I was dying and my organs were shutting down. And I was rushed. Shortly after this photo was taken to Mount Sinai and put in the resuscitation unit on the verge of a heart attack. And getting that news is challenging, and continuing to live your life despite getting news that you're in end-stage kidney failure is quite challenging. But here we are continuing to live life because this is what you must do. Life goes on. And there was a brief period of time in which I had sort of found out that things were not great, but I didn't know what that meant. And so I continued, of course, just to be myself and try and continue to reach all my goals professionally, personally. And then, of course, pandemic hits, and I'm told that I need to find an organ, a kidney. And so I do as you do. I go to LinkedIn to tell people my story. I posted a video of me crying on LinkedIn with all of my professional contacts. And later found out, of course, that I would end up going for a kidney and a pancreas transplant, which is a much more challenging surgery, much more rare. But the outcome of that is it cures both the end-stage kidney failure, diabetic kidney disease, as well as type 1 diabetes. So it is a bit of a hard run to get there, but the payoff is quite large. One of the things that I feel like I wasn't prepared for was the renal diet. It basically says you can't eat anything good. So no cheese, no sodium, no phosphorus, no potassium, anything good, just forget about it. So this was the snack that I would have. It was cucumbers with dill, which is horrible. It's awful. But it was my new reality. And this is, I think, slightly challenging. And the concept of a new reality is tough. One of the things, of course, that happens is you get put on this list. And this is a video of me being put on the list and being at number 1 on the list. The wait is long, and certainly I was on the list for over 2 years, which felt like forever. But there are people who are on the list for 7, 8 years, And that is a challenging thing. And in the face of what feels like your body shutting down and you witnessing yourself transforming for the worse, it is quite hard. And here are my friends doing cool things at 34 years old, having babies, buying houses, living their lives. And I was not doing that sort of thing. My mind was occupied with trying to stay alive. And it's certainly not glamorous, and it was not the life I pictured for myself. And I think mentally that's a bit challenging to overcome, is what you imagine and what your new reality is. And my new reality happened to be, basically feeling like I was, 90 years old, and I was put on dialysis. This is Betsy, my port that kept me alive, who I love and adore, and I still have a scar, but she was my lifeline for 3 months. And being on dialysis was not what my friends were doing. It was not cool. It was uncool, but it was my new reality. And this is what it is, I guess, as they say. And she kept me alive while I waited for a transplant. So, the call finally comes, and it's a big deal. But it was a pandemic, and again, there was an outbreak on the floor. So all of these things happened, virtually. This is my dad crying right before I was about to go into surgery. And, you're in surgery for 8 hours. And I would love to tell you that there's some big romantic, famous last words, just in case something went wrong, but nothing went wrong, which is great. I don't know, my famous last words were nothing special, other than maybe I like to talk with my hands. But within that, I was in surgery for just over 8 hours. I received my organs from a deceased donor, so a kidney and a pancreas from a young man who I will never have the chance to meet, but have said thank you to his family profusely. And speaking of people I say thank you to, is this community of people who, when I was down and out, just lifted me up and sent me messages of hope and sent me messages of checking in. And it's such a little act to ask how someone is doing or send a heart, but it changed my life amongst sort of the transplant itself. And this is a photo of me looking alive. How exciting. I was in the hospital for 6 days, come out, I start to look alive almost immediately, which is kind of crazy. It's remarkable just how quickly your life can change almost in an instant. And this is what a normal 34-year-old should look like. No swollen ankles, not having to worry about cucumber and dill, but it's a new routine. And so the new routine, it doesn't stop, it doesn't end. It's, there's a lot of blood work, there's a lot of management of some of the complications that may arise. But certainly it's a new kind of normal, and I'm cured now of end-stage kidney failure. There's no more need for dialysis, and I'm cured of type 1 diabetes. So, who knew that was possible? I guess the interesting thing about, being cured of diabetes this way and end-stage kidney failure this way is it's not the way you want to go about being cured. These are the medications I have to take every day, and it's a bit of a shortcut in many ways to a cure. And so that's why it's so important to me to be engaged with the Foundation and have, contributions from an awareness perspective and talk to, the sugar and salt people about my experience so that I can help those that come after me, because certainly more will come after me. And it's so important that they have access to the resources and all that I had access to and more, so that they can successfully navigate end-stage kidney failure and be cured of diabetes too. This is me eating a hot dog. My favorite meal in all of the land is Costco Diet Coke, hot dog, ketchup, mustard, sauerkraut, don't judge me, and French fries. And so this was just a big moment for me. My whole life, as I've mentioned, had changed. And it changes in a lot of ways, but one of the ways, of course, in which it changes is that you no longer need to be on the renal diet, and you have this sense of freedom from being cured of 2 chronic diseases that you've just never known. And so these 2 pictures symbolize a real journey for me. The one on the left-hand side is was taken when I was, just diagnosed, and the one on the right-hand side was taken 3 months after my surgery, which is when you're sort of considered out of the woods. And this picture was what I was focused on the whole time, not myself, but this idea that like I could retake this photo because I was going to get through everything. I was going to do dialysis. I was going to work. I was going to get through it. I was going to be able to like be arms up and say I did it. And I couldn't have done it without like the help of so many people. And this idea, of course, that like life is this big grand journey up to the top, and there's some inspirational quote and lights are flashing. It's like, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. It is a challenging ride up, and it's a long walk. There's holes, you fall down, there's leaves, you slip and fall, you hit your head on the rock, you get bandaged, you keep trying to go up to the top. And certainly when it comes to end-stage kidney failure and diabetic kidney disease, it's likely that I will need another kidney transplant 10-15 years from now. So it's a journey up, it's a journey down, and along the way there are all of these people who have helped me get to where I am and be the person I am. And without them, I would not be possible. I would not be who I am. And so those people all hold superhero status in my world, whether it's my doctors, my nurses, my transplant coordinators, the Kidney Foundation, people who have just exercised kindness. Those people are superheroes. So thank you for listening to my talk, and have a great day.